Welcome back. We continue now with our ongoing discussions with City Council incumbents who are pitted against each other now that ward boundaries have been redrawn and Council cut to 25 seats. The election is only 8 days away, so it is coming down to the wire. Tonight, we are joined by Etobicoke North councillors who are now both running in the newly formed Ward 1, Vince Crisanti and Michael Ford. Thank you both for being here tonight.
Thank you for having us. Good evening.
You are political allies, friends. You have both, for obvious reasons, at least in your case, Michael Ford, allegiances to the Ford family. Vince Crisanti, you have been unfailingly loyal to that family. Both of you can credit where you are today and the position that you're in today to the Ford family. Was it a tough decision for you, Vince, to run this time?
Well, quite frankly, Pam, no, it wasn't. It wasn't at all. I registered my intent to run on May 1st prior to the reduction of size of council. I'm committed to serving my community. I have been then. I am fully committed now. Nothing has changed at my end. So I've stayed the course. What has changed is the reduction in size of council from 47 to 25, and I'm fully committed to continue to serve my constituents because this is what I do, and I am very passionate about it.
You didn't know then on May 1st
Correct.
that you'd be running against your friend and ally.
But I stayed the course. I'm committed to, again, serving my constituents, and I have a plan, I have a vision. You know, I have I got a great track record, a lot of successes, and I don't walk away from what I do. And, you know, we have to continue building Etobicoke North. We have to continue building on my successes, and that's what I'm here for, just to serve my constituents and make sure that they get the at-the-door service that they deserve.
Michael Ford, you cruised to victory 2 years ago in a by-election in your uncle's old ward, thanks in large part, I think you can agree, from support from Ford Nation. How much of a factor will that connection be a week from now?
Well, look, Pam, I've been busy serving my constituents over the past 4 years as the TDSB trustee and as the councillor, and when they called me, I showed up at their door. We've been very busy on some key projects for North Etobicoke, such as passing the Woodbine redevelopment and the revitalization of Islington and Rexdale happening right now. So I think we've been working very hard for the community and for the constituents to really be investing. Of course, having Doug as the Premier as an ally is great, and we work very well together, of course. But at the end of the day, it's my name on the ballot, and I'm proving myself to the residents of North Etobicoke.
Some would argue, Vince, that you've had a long and successful political career, 8 years already as councillor before amalgamation, a councillor for Etobicoke. Has there been any pressure at all from your friend Premier Doug Ford to retire? You're 65 now. You could. And let his nephew take the reins.
No, absolutely not. I mean, look, like I said earlier, Pam, I registered my intent on May 1st. I've had a great track record. When we were talking about the Woodbine racetrack, I passed that on council back in July of 2015, and that's well before Michael even came on board. So I've tracked a lot of development. I work very closely with businesses because what my constituents tell me is they want jobs. So I'm the only city councillor that hosts 2 regular business roundtables a year, and I encourage our local businesses to hire locally. And you know, we've also had you know, unfortunately, citywide spike in crime, and I've advocated you know, for more police officers. I've advocated for more outreach programs. In fact, I'm again the only city councillor that put forward a motion 2 council meetings prior to the season ending to discuss, to have an emergency meeting to discuss the spike in crime and to make sure that we begin to deal with this very serious issue, because we can't ignore it.
For a lot of voters, this does come down to experience versus youth. Michael Ford, you are very young, just 24, only 2 years experience on council, a couple of years before that with the TDSB. But do you really think you stand a chance against your opponent's experience?
Well, look, what I have to say to that is I have experience for the last 4 years fighting to keep taxes low and voting against high property tax increases, voting against high water rates, high garbage rates, and I can't say the same to my colleague respectfully, but I've been very focused on that, and that's been my experience, my track record. I've been showing up to people's doors to serve them. When they call my office, they got a personal response, and I'm at their door. They expect, us to be listening to them, us to be working for them. That's what I have done, and I've been fiercely working in much of that regard.
And Pam, I can add, I have an impeccable record of customer service at the door. This is my background, this is what I do. And I can just suggest this, that particularly now, when you're reducing the size of council from 47 to 25, the territories have grown quite a bit. Etobicoke North now is more than twice the size of what it was before. And it takes that extra skill and experience. So I bring my life skills to the table, I bring my experience to the table. I'm able to manage that, because it's going to take fine-tuning and excellent skills in managing that, because there's no other way of being able to do it successfully. When you look at the ward size now from Steeles Avenue down to Eglinton Avenue, it's massive. It's 125,000 constituents, and it's a lot of work. So without those keen skills, I don't believe anyone can do it unless they have the skills and the experience that I bring to the table. And it's quite clear that I think experience matters, and people know this. It's their tax dollars, and the corporation of the City of Toronto has an $11.2 billion operating budget, and it takes somebody with experience to be able to manage all that as well.
Let's just talk quickly about Mayor Tory for a second. Sure. As big supporters of the Fords, you supported Doug Ford in his short run for mayor. In fact, were ousted as deputy mayor because of that. You obviously support the Fords for obvious reasons. Is it safe to assume that you are not big fans of John Tory and are not backing him for re-election?
I certainly wouldn't describe it in that way at all. Right now we're focused, I'm focused completely, razor-sharp focused in my own election and getting myself re-elected. And, and you're absolutely right. I did, I've been a loyal supporter of, the Ford family and Doug Ford. And that history speaks to that. Everybody knows what I've done for the Fords. However, we're in this situation, and maybe now is not the time. Maybe now is not the time to look into the details of that. But clearly, I've been a loyal supporter of the Fords. I'm an even more loyal supporter of my own constituents. I support my constituents. I'm there to serve them at their doorstep, and I'm looking forward to continue to serve them for the next 4 years.
Very quickly, are you openly supporting his opponent, Jennifer Keesmaat?
No, absolutely not. Look, I think
councillors are.
I think what Councillor Crisanti said is right, and I think it's the right approach. Is that we need to be focused on our constituents. At the end of the day, one of us are going to be sent to City Hall to really deal with the serious issues that we have with crime, with affordability, with transit, and I think we need to be focused on North Etobicoke. But whoever's elected mayor on October 22nd, I look forward to working with and producing results for the residents in North Etobicoke.
Well, good luck to you both, and all the best, and thank you again for being here tonight.
Pam, thank you for having us, and we'll look forward to seeing you after the election.
And during, actually, we will have full coverage of this race and many others on election night coming up on October 22nd.